Hello, and welcome to this plant engineering video conversation. I'm your host, Amara Razgis, and I've connected with Jerome Soltani from Schneider Electric. This is part of the Managing Your Plant Floor Edge series, which focuses on maintenance from a lot of different angles. So thanks, Jerome. I appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you, Amara. You're welcome, and I'm very excited to be with you today.
Excellent. Well, let me give you some background about my guest. Jerome Soltani serves as Senior Vice President of U.S. Services at Schneider Electric. In 2019, he landed his current role where he's leading the services business digital transformation to position Schneider Electric as the U.S. market leader in digital services. Jerome brings years of experience in operations, strategy, sales, management, and marketing, with a successful track record in the services industry internationally. So, Jerome, let me launch right into this first question here. What was the most recent change in NFPA's electrical equipment maintenance guidelines, and what does that mean for the industry?
Yeah, very, very good question, Amara. Look, this 2023 NFPA 70B has been a tremendous change for us in services, and especially on the way we consider maintenance. So far, maintenance was a recommended practice, and the 2023 edition shifts this position to a much more mandatory standard. So now we have requirements and mandatory messages around maintenance, which is a huge shift for our industry. So it's long story short, it's a big impact on the way facilities are managing now the maintenance of the electrical equipment and electrical system, and a big shift as well in terms of safety. So the NFPA 70B is part of a three-pronged approach in which you have the NFPA 70, which is the National Electrical Code, which gives standard in terms of installing and utilizing electrical equipment. It's part as well of the NFPA 70E, which is directly linked to the standard for electrical safety in the workplace. So really providing guidelines on how to work in a safely environment for our people on the facility. And last but not least, the 70B, the NFPA 70B, which is really related to the maintenance of the equipment and really establishing guidelines for people, for plant manager, for engineering people on the plant to build an electrical maintenance plan and make sure that we optimize the maintenance and enhance the safety for the individual. So this is really a cultural shift in the way we maintain the installation and the electrical network in the plant, and really make sure that we help facility managers to better manage their installation, and really highlighting as well the importance of the digitized network and the access to data to make sure that we more and more jump into a more predictive environment, condition-based maintenance to, again, make sure that the installation are not facing any downtime, not seeing any downtime, and make sure that we have workers in a more safe environment for their day-to-day job. So big shift, and knowing that we see a large number of injuries coming from the electrical hazards. I think we talk about 4,000 injuries per year in this country. It's a big impact and positive shift in our environment.
So, Jerome, you just mentioned this. You're talking about digital technologies, digital transformation. How is digital technology enhancing maintenance protocols and enhancing safety?
Yeah, look, it's a very exciting journey, and I've seen the traditional ecosystem, reactive, preventative maintenance, the way we have done it for decades. What we see, it's a real digitization transformation of our practice and the way we maintain our equipment. So maintain our equipment, but as well, I think protect our people. There are two different things that digitization in our maintenance is really evolving. So if I look at just the digitization, what makes the difference is our equipment are smarter, giving us much more access to data, and we can build patterns and remotely monitor the installation to really manage the first level of I would call that smart alarming. So we can detect predictively event and really inform our people, our customer that something is going on the site, and we need to react and see what needs to be fixed. Now, with the algorithm that we can build now, the advanced pattern, and really manage a large installed base of assets, we have better expertise and better knowledge that allow us to move now from preventative to predictive and condition-based maintenance. The predictiveness allow us to avoid any downtime or avoid any future failure. So now we can inform our customers, our partners, that an event can occur in the coming weeks, coming days, coming weeks, and we need to intervene. We understand we have been able to do the diagnostic of the potential failure, and we are able to send the right technicians with the right competency, with the right component, to make sure that there is no downtime or no tragic event on the site. So really, the digitization and the access to data allow us really to transform this whole maintenance approach and really be able to deliver these outcome-based services around uptime, around reliability, and also around safety. Because if you think about it, now you better inform our technicians about what they're going to fix or what they need to look at, and which part they're going to use and which competency we want them to use to better manage the installation in a predictive manner. And really we can enhance and protect more the technician when they operate in this environment. This is the first part of the digitization. The second part for me of the digitization is how we protect the individual himself or herself with this digitization. And what we have done in the last years is really to look at how we can provide smart wearable devices for our technicians or for any technician. So now you can provide connected PPE for technicians, like a smartwatch, for instance, and they can identify energized equipment when they get close to them and really monitor the risk of the energized equipment through the device that the technician can wear. We can also, with digitization, think about tracking of the vehicle of our technicians. So monitor the behavior, how much they are, braking or speeding, and really make sure that our technicians have a better behavior and make sure that we avoid any major incidents. Last but not least, what we are seeing as well, that we are more and more in the digital twin able to modelize the electrical system of a given plant. So now you have an updated single light diagram with all the design and all the arc flash studies, for instance, up to date. So now any engineers, any technicians can look at the installation from a digital manner, understand what's going on, how the thing has been designed and installed, and make sure that they are much more prepared when they're gonna go on the real world, manipulate and work on the installation. They know what they are prepared, and they have all the information to work in the most safe environment and avoid any electrical hazards. So long story short, sorry, it was a long answer, but this is for me the two things that we see in digitalization. Data, much more predictiveness and condition-based maintenance that provide better services for an installation, and really help our individual, our technicians, our engineers on field to be in a safer environment.
Right. And that all makes sense. So maybe you already touched on this, but what's the current trend in maintenance for an industrial or a manufacturing facility? Do all those things come into play?
I mean, look, it's again, it's a journey. I mean, and all the people, all the industrial are not at the same level in terms of approaching maintenance. Now, within NFPA 70B, we see a much more awareness and much more engagement of new customers and new manufacturer on how do I need to maintain my installation, and they understand better the benefits. The benefits of maintenance for most of the time come from safety. I mean, again, it's if your equipment has much more maintained with a better quality, with the right cadence, with the predictiveness that we talked before, you bring a better safety environment for your people. So safety is continue to drive the need for maintenance and the awareness and the focus on the maintenance of the equipment. What we see as well is that most electrical equipment need maintenance. Poor maintenance generates downtime and failure, and you probably limit the life cycle of the installation. So there is this need from the industry to better maintain the equipment, and there are a lot of questions about how can I do a better job to maintain my equipment? How do I do a better job to digitize my equipment to make sure that in the near future I provide the uptime that is required by my industry, and I get a much more reliable tools and engine in my business. What we see as well is as probably most of the industry, most of the market, we see a scarcity and a lack of competency and expertise at the plant level, and so our network of customer and partner are relying on us to make sure that we can provide this maintenance, and the ability to have this digitization within the maintenance enable us to be more efficient and to have less, or I would say, or to optimize better the capacity and the competencies that we have based on the access to data. So again, the digitization is a fantastic tool to enable us to compensate sometimes on some remote site or on some site that doesn't have the competency to be able to get the data and complement or supplement the resources of our customers.
So you bring up a good point, Jerome. I mean, and I think this is kind of a controversial topic for some people. Some people say, oh no, only do maintenance in-house. And other people say, well, we should outsource it. So why would outsourcing maintenance be a better solution for some companies?
I think, and both are linked. As I just said, we are all facing turnover and attrition, and maintaining the right level of competency at a given location, given site, it's extremely difficult. So relying on a services provider like us at scale can enable anybody to benefit from the resources, the competencies, the availability, and the coverage that it's difficult in today and in the future to maintain. So I think this is a first driver for me of outsourcing. The second thing that I'm experiencing is that more and more industrial companies want to stay focused on their core activity. And having on your balance sheet resources that are not linked to the core, it's becoming a burden. So having the ability to rely on a outsourced provider and support the maintenance, it's becoming much more natural from our customers, and because it's definitely a difficult challenge to maintain your equipment with your own resources at the plant level. So I think it's an important point, and we are helping our customer on having the right resources at the right moment. And again, everything that we discuss about this predictiveness and the connectivity allow us to have a really interesting coverage for our customer. We can be multi-site, we can position ourselves at the enterprise level. Now you can bring best practices, sharing knowledge through different sites at the country level. So it's also interesting if you are limited to a site, not having this enterprise view or multi-site view is sometimes not enabling you to maintain properly your equipment.
Right. So you touched on this. Predictive and preventive maintenance, obviously, are pretty big topics to talk about. So what are some future trends that we should consider for predictive or preventive maintenance? What should we look for or consider?
I think, the AI and connectivity are really the two drivers that will enable us to be very successful and efficient in predictive maintenance. It's definitely a trend that we can predict, if I can say that, and predictive maintenance will happen anyway. So connecting your asset, connected your system, and on premise or on cloud is for me the future of the maintenance, for the different reasons that we talk about: the safety, the lack of resources, the need for the industrial to be much more focused on the core and really outsource the maintenance and the reliabilities, all the outcome-based services that we talk about, to be outsourced to the manufacturer. The second thing in terms of trend that I'm seeing, is that what we have been talking about with some of our partner or customers is how do you position yourself from just the asset to the system or to the application and to the full critical infrastructure. Because when you think about it, it's difficult to provide a true outcome-based services like reliability for a plant. You cannot just be focused on an asset or limited application. The plant will require a full understanding and a full approach of the services provider on the entire critical infrastructure to be relevant on the outcome-based services. So what we are seeing is that the services organization needs to move from just the asset to a much more system integration and the critical infrastructure of their installation. So there is a shift as well from just maintaining the assets that you are manufacturing versus managing the full critical infrastructure of your customer.
So you mean a much broader or more holistic view?
Yeah,
Okay.
you need a much more holistic view. You cannot just provide this predictive maintenance on an asset. You need to be much more on the system because this is where you're going to be relevant.
Okay, well, that was Jerome Soltani from Schneider Electric talking about many, many different topics related to maintenance. Thanks, Jerome. It's a pleasure to chat with you today.
You're very welcome, Amara. It was great.
Well, for more information on maintaining your plant floor edge, maintenance, or other electrical related topics, visit Plant Engineering at www.plantengineering.com. Thank you for joining us today, and goodbye.